This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Taylor, I appreciate you making us some time this morning. I really want to cut right to the chase. A lot of questions about screenshots. Kind of tell us about the new policy and what the fans and listeners need to know about that.
Yeah, good morning, fellas. Long-time listener, first-time caller, so thanks for having me.
Thank you, Tony.
No, we're 8 days from college football at War Memorial, so happy to explain the process. So for fans who are coming to a game this fall, by and large, the process that has been in place since we introduced mobile ticketing back in 2019 and 2020 are in place still. The only thing that's really changed is that this year, every fan will have to have their mobile ticket downloaded to their mobile wallet. And that's just a slight nuance from the past where some screenshots would work. So you could, if I have the tickets and I'm sending them to you, Ty, I could just screenshot it and send it to you. Now that screenshot physically won't work because the ticket type is different.
So I've had a lot of people ask me this. Taylor, I finally got it figured out with the phone I've got and the account and how to log in. Why does it have to change now? What's the need for this change right now? Yeah,
a few different reasons. And the thing that has changed is the type of technology that's on the ticket, right? So it's no longer a barcode or a QR code. The reason for that is because there is issue with barcodes at entry, with sunlight affecting the scanners themselves. And there is issues with fraud, right? There's a reason why at Major League Baseball games, they have what they call a rotating barcode. If you go to a music festival at the AMP, they have a rotating barcode. That same rotating barcode technology is what allows screenshots to not work. We are implementing a similar technology here, and by and large will ensure that there's only one singular ticket that is valid for a single seat for any given game.
Taylor, this is Chuck. Couple of questions. One, you talked about the rotating bar, and I'm going to sound like probably a lot of people who are going to maneuver through all this, just, smart enough to mess it up. But I know now, for example, I went to a concert, and it was a Ticketmaster thing, and I didn't see a barcode on there, but it was that floating barcode, and I just put the phone up to the mechanism there, and even without a barcode, I got in. Is this the technology that you're talking about?
That's correct, Chuck. The technology that we are actually using is called NFC technology. Now, the fan doesn't need to know or care about that, right? What that means, though, is that there will not physically be a barcode. There will be a little blue circle reader on people's mobile ticket, and that thing actually moves, right? So that's why the screenshot doesn't work, because it moves. And when you get near that ticket scanner, you're no longer sticking your phone underneath it to scan it. It's more of a tap-and-go system. So will be much easier and more efficient for fans and for ushers getting people into the stadium.
So what's going to happen in the first game? Because it's in Little Rock. It's at War Memorial. Obviously, Game 2's the Kent State game in Fayetteville. Is it going to be the same process, same equipment, or will it be different from one stadium to the next, weeks 1 and 2?
Nope, it'll be the exact same. We are taking our ticket scanners down there to War Memorial, and fans who have tickets to that game and tickets to Kent State also, it will operate the exact same way. Yep. And one thing I did want to touch on.
Out. Sure.
Yeah, one thing I did want to touch on, Chuck, was Ty asked me earlier, what about when you can't access the app? The connectivity can be bad, the Wi-Fi can be bad. Yep. There's no doubt about that. There are going to be issues on game day when there's 70,000 people trying to get in the stadium and accessing the network, right? The key that's going to make all this work, and what we've been trying to educate fans on, is if you have your mobile ticket downloaded to your wallet prior to getting to the stadium, it doesn't matter how bad any network is. Your wallet isn't relying on the network. If your ticket's downloaded in there in advance, you're good to go. You're going to be able to get right into the game.
One of the things that I think is important is that people understand the process of making certain that their ticket is ready to go. I think they understand that screenshots aren't going to work anymore. Tell us about, and I know you've got this spelled out real clearly, on the website. Tell us how people can make certain that they have an understanding of this, so perhaps when they get to the stadium, they do have this thing downloaded to their wallet, their Apple Wallet, so they can get right in.
Sure. Yep. What I would recommend if and do is visit ArkansasRazorbacks.com or the app, and we have right front and center the new mobile ticketing procedure. But I would also encourage them, if they encounter any issues at all, to call the Razorback Ticket Center at 479-575-511. And we are happy to help them walk through the process, because we want to make sure that everybody has a good of an experience as possible. Every ticket holder this year will also have some extra incentive to download those tickets in advance. Everybody who has a ticket for the Little Rock game at War Memorial next week, if they have their ticket downloaded to their mobile wallet by Thursday of game week, they're going to be entered to win an autographed Sam Pittman football. And for the Kent State game week, for tickets who have fans for week 1 in Fayetteville, if you download your ticket by Thursday of game week, you're going to be entered to win 2 sideline passes for that Kent State game. So we are doing our best to message it and encourage fans to read those instructions and make sure that they do have everything they need before arriving on Saturday.
Taylor McGillis is with us. He's Senior Associate AD in Marketing and Business Development on the McClarty-Daniel Hotline. Taylor, we're getting text this morning questioning, is the same process work for the Android? And I know a lot of people have iPhones. Is the same for the Android devices as well?
It's the same process, yes. Now, we have encountered, for certain Android users, they have to turn on that technology. So if you're an Android user and you don't think you have that, or you don't use Google Pay, you can go into your settings, search for NFC, those 3 letters, and you just toggle it on, and it'll work.
So what are we going to do when Auburn gets here? How in the world are their fans ever going to figure this out? I've got no clue on that, right? So
that's a great question.
Yeah. But seriously, I mean, talking about the technology, we got several other texts here on the McClarty-Daniel hotline about, all right, transferring tickets. I don't think that process has changed if you've got the account, but I know everybody's still trying to catch up from the way it was done. Is there any difference that if I buy 4 tickets and I want to give 2 of them to Chuck, how do I do that?
You're correct. I mean, there's absolutely no difference in the transfer process. So if you're the account holder, you go online to your account, whether that's through the app or just through your computer, log in, and you transfer those 2 of your 4 to Ty. Now the 2 that you transferred will in essence null and void on your account and be accessible for Ty to add to his online account manager.
Yeah. And if I have and there's another question here. If I have a problem on game day, I get there's something either wrong with my phone, wrong with the transfer, I can't figure it out. What do I do once I get to the gate and then it won't work?
If you get to the gate and it can't work, our gate staff is going to be well equipped to help you. But if that, again, doesn't work, we're going to have tents over on the north side of the stadium, where right near Gate 11, where it's a mobile ticket help center, where any fan can go even before they have issues and make sure they're squared away. Or they can also visit the box office at Gate 1.
Taylor, Hacker wants to know, he's got season tickets and why it's not letting him download past Game 1, past all, and compared to all the games in seasons past.
So that shouldn't be the case. Was testing this morning. All season ticket holders, you can now do what's called an all-in-one pass. You will download your season ticket once, and it will add the games. It actually just adds 1 ticket, right? And that ticket will update every game in your wallet. Now, what he may be experiencing or others may experience, the Little Rock game is separate from that all-in-one pass. So you will have to download that one separately.
Okay. What about for the audience? And there's a good chunk of them listening right now. They don't have a smartphone. Like, how are they going to get in their game if they're a season ticket holder?
Sure. And I do want to reiterate that, we introduced this in 2020. So this is the 3rd year of having mobile ticketing, and it's the same process that it has been for those fans who haven't had a smartphone. If you physically do not have a smartphone device, we will print your tickets for you at no cost. That has not changed. We want to encourage smartphone users and iPhone users and Android users to learn and educate themselves on the process to take advantage of the mobile tickets. But we do understand there are there is still a small segment of fans that don't have smartphones, and we will print those tickets for them at no cost.
So Taylor, I know the main reason this was initially introduced because of COVID and the contact and everything. Is now the main reason the athletic department and other places are keeping it because of the fraud aspect?
I think fraud's a small component of it, but truthfully, Ty, it's the direction of the way everything's going, right? It allows the fan, once they truly understand how to use the mobile ticketing process, it's a much easier experience for them to be able to manage their tickets, transfer their tickets to their friends, and ultimately does lead to faster entry time into the games rather than ushers physically handling or stubbing tickets themselves.
Yeah.
Taylor, when should fans get in line in order for – because I know before games it gets packed right before they're earning, and it's a new process for people. When would you recommend fans, in order to get to their seat in adequate time, get in line for these games?
We always recommend they get there as early as possible and understand that means something different for everybody. I would recommend trying to get into your seat, trying to get to the stadium, and get in line about 30, 45 minutes before kickoff. And that should ensure that you get in with no issues.
Yeah. Most of the people that the university has that are manning the gates, working at the points of entry into the stadium, they're not full-time employees, they're game day employees. How do y'all go about training and informing and educating them on the process to deal with these issues?
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's a good question. That's a huge part of it. We have had an educational session already with Allied, which is the new name for our landmark staff. And our ticket staff has another meeting on Monday where they're going to be walking through physically on site with the scanners, with the mobile tickets, demonstrating how exactly it works. So it's always a challenge because they'll have new folks periodically, but we're going above and beyond this year to ensure that everybody knows how exactly this will work at the gate.
So charge your phone. Before you leave your car, you better have your phone charged. You don't want to get to the gate and have your phone die. So...
Taylor, one last thing. Just give that phone number one more time if people still have questions before next week in War Memorial or the season this fall.
Yep. Phone number is 479-575-5151.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.